Chosen one, stop for a moment and listen with your heart. Do not keep scrolling past this. You did not arrive here by accident, and you are not listening to this by coincidence. I interrupted your scrolling because I love you too much to let you interpret your season through pain alone. I want you still long enough to hear what heaven has been trying to whisper underneath the noise, underneath the timelines, underneath the pressure. This reached you on purpose, right on time, because I am speaking to the part of you that has been asking in the dark, did I miss it? Did I do something wrong? Did you forget me? My child, your singleness was not a sentence. It was not my rejection of you. It was not proof that you are behind, overlooked, or less desirable. It was protection around your future. It was positioning for real love. It was me standing at the door of your life saying, not that one, even when your emotions begged, anything is better than this quiet. It was me, refusing to hand you over to a connection that looked like comfort but would have become captivity. And I know you have tried to make sense of it, because you see others pairing off, and you wonder why your story has felt delayed. But I am telling you plainly, I did not keep you single to punish you. I kept you single to preserve you. I have seen the nights that feel too quiet. I have heard the sigh you make when you set your phone down and the room goes silent again. I have watched you smile at engagement photos while something inside you aches, and then you feel guilty for aching, and you try to call it contentment when it is really a longing you do not know what to do with. I have seen the wedding invitations that stung, the baby announcements that made you question your own timeline, the family questions that felt like little cuts. So, are you seeing anyone? As if your life is on hold until someone claims it. I have seen you staring at the ceiling at night, bargaining with me in whispers, wondering if you are too much or not enough, or if there is something secretly wrong with you. Listen to me. I am not ashamed of your desire. I placed it there. Marriage was my idea. Covenant love was my design. And I care about the desire I put in your heart myself. But you must understand this. I will not satisfy a holy desire with an unholy substitute. Do not skip this. Do not click away because the first words touched a nerve. Stay with me, because there is a revelation coming that will change how you interpret every almost, every nearly, every connection that started strong and then vanished. Every person who came close enough to stir your hope and then left you with questions. You have been calling it rejection, but I am about to show you it was rescue. You have been calling it delay, but I am about to show you it was alignment. You have been calling it, maybe I'm unworthy, but I am about to show you it was, I am worthy enough to be protected. You thought you were being left out, but I was keeping you out of what would have drained you. You thought the door closing meant you were unchosen. But I closed it because I saw what you could not see. I saw the double life behind the charming smile. I saw the immaturity behind the strong words. I saw the jealousy that would have punished your growth. I saw the hidden addictions. I saw the manipulations that would have turned your tenderness into trauma. I saw how quickly you would have started shrinking to keep peace with someone who does not know how to carry covenant, and I loved you too much to let you call that answered prayer. Some of the things you cried over were the very things that would have cried over you. And yes, I know it hurt. I know it embarrassed you. I know it made you question your discernment. I know you replayed conversations and wondered what you should have said differently, how you should have looked, how you should have acted, as if you could perform your way into being loved correctly. My child, I am not asking you to audition for love. I am preparing you to receive it in peace. There is a difference. Hear me clearly. I am not late. I am not confused. I am not overlooking you. Heaven has an order, and your life is not random. I have been setting boundaries around you that you did not know how to set for yourself. I have been letting certain messages go unanswered, not because you are unworthy of communication, but because I am training you to stop chasing what does not choose you in honor. I have been letting certain people pass by, not because you are unlovable, but because they were not safe for your soul. I have been protecting your joy, your purpose, your calling, your peace, because what I am building in you cannot afford to be constantly interrupted by confusion disguised as chemistry. So let this be the moment you stop calling your season wasted. Let this be the moment you stop treating your singleness like a holding cell. This is sacred ground. This is a corridor of preparation. This is not the end of your story. This is me writing it with precision. And I need you to hear this at the beginning, before I show you the details. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. You are not hard to love. You are being covered. And if this is speaking directly to your season, if you feel me pressing on your heart right now, tap like as your agreement, not for a platform, but as a sign in your own spirit that you are choosing truth over the lie of abandonment. And subscribe so you stay covered by these confirmations when doubt returns at night and tries to rewrite what I have already spoken. Because I am going to walk you through what I was shielding you from, what I have been healing within you, and what I have been preparing ahead of you, so that when real love arrives, it does not come as a whirlwind that steals your peace, but as a covenant that settles your soul. Stay with me. Do not rush out of this moment. I am about to show you that the silence was not absence. It was protection, it was preparation, and it was proof that I am taking your future seriously. My child, I know what the quiet has felt like. I know what it feels like to come home and set your keys down and hear nothing else. I know the way the silence can get loud at night, when the lights go off and your mind starts talking, and the enemy tries to use the stillness to convince you that you are being overlooked. I know the ache that rises when you scroll and see people held, chosen, celebrated, and you wonder why your arms feel empty, while your heart feels full of love to give. I know the moment you stare at your phone, thumb hovering, tempted to text someone you already outgrew, someone I delivered you from, just to feel a response, just to feel remembered, just to feel wanted for 5 minutes. And I know the fear you do not always say out loud. What if time is running out? What if I miss my window? What if I am too late? Listen closely to me. That fear is not wisdom. That pressure is not my voice. I do not lead my children by panic. I do not guide you by anxiety. I do not build covenant through desperation. The loneliness you felt was not a verdict spoken over your life. It was a signal. It was an alarm in your spirit that said, do not settle. Do not negotiate your worth. Do not call a temporary distraction a lifelong promise. Hear me. Loneliness is not proof that I have abandoned you. Loneliness is often proof that you are waking up. It is the discomfort that comes when you can no longer be soothed by what used to pacify you. It is the holy ache that rises when your soul knows it was made for more than casual access and inconsistent affection. It is the moment you realize that being chosen for a night is not the same as being covered for a lifetime. So when that ache comes, do not shame yourself. Do not pretend you are made of stone. Do not act like you do not want what I placed inside you to desire. Bring it to me. Let it speak to you without ruling you. Because if you do not discern this season, you will answer from panic. And when you answer from panic, you will call what is counterfeit answered prayer. You will call attention affection. You will call pursuit purpose. You will call chemistry confirmation. You will call consistency for 2 weeks character. You will call being invited into someone's chaos connection. And I am warning you in love, do not answer from panic. Panic will have you running back to what I already healed you from, just because it is familiar. Panic will have you lowering your standards and then spiritualizing it because you are tired of waiting. Panic will have you entertaining words with no fruit, promises with no pursuit, apologies with no change, and you will try to convince yourself it is my will because it temporarily quiets the loneliness. But I did not allow the quiet to expose you. I allowed it to refine you. I let the silence reveal what you were tempted to use people to cover. Some of you have been so faithful on the outside, but inside you have been exhausted from always having to be strong. You have been smiling in rooms while your heart was tired. You have been laughing with friends while privately wondering why it seemed so easy for others and so delayed for you. And I saw every tear you hid. I saw the tear that slid down your face in the bathroom so nobody would ask questions. I saw the tear you wiped away in the car before you walked into work. I saw you whisper, "I'm okay," when you weren't okay, because you did not want to sound ungrateful and you did not want anyone to pity you. I saw it and I did not turn away. I was there. I was nearer than your breath. Listen to me, my precious soul. Loneliness can become a doorway if you do not guard it. It can become a doorway where you start letting anyone in who knocks just because you are tired of the house being quiet. It can become a doorway where you start confusing someone's availability with my approval. And this is why I have been teaching you to be honest about what you feel, without letting what you feel drive what you choose. Because when wounds are unhealed, attention feels like affection. When your inner child is still begging to be chosen, the smallest breadcrumb can feel like a feast. When rejection has bruised you, You can start calling bare minimum effort love simply because it is offered. Do you see why I have been interrupting you? Do you see why I have been slowing you down? Not to torment you, not to tease you, not to dangle a promise and then laugh at your longing. No, I have been keeping you sober in spirit. I have been teaching you the difference between someone who likes the way you make them feel and someone who is willing to honor what I put on your life. I have been training you to recognize that real love will not require you to betray yourself to keep it. Real love will not make you feel anxious all day and then call it passion. Real love will not disappear and reappear and expect you to be grateful for crumbs. Real love will not make you prove your value with performance. My love for you does not work that way, and covenant that comes from me will not work that way either. So when the loneliness rises, do not interpret it as a prophecy of lifelong lack. Interpret it as a signal to come closer. Let it be the moment you pray instead of the moment you compromise. Let it be the moment you strengthen your boundaries instead of weakening them. Let it be the moment you remember what I already brought you through. Some of the people you miss are not people you need. Some of the conversations you crave are not conversations that would have covered you. Some of the good morning texts you are longing for would have come from someone who would have cost you your peace by nightfall. And you know this, because every time you went back, you lost yourself a little more trying to keep someone who was never assigned to steward your heart. I am speaking to the part of you that has been tempted to force what I have not formed. You were not lonely because you were unloved. You were lonely because you were in between who you used to be and who I am shaping you to become, between old patterns and new discernment, between familiar chaos and holy peace. And that in-between can feel like emptiness, but it is not emptiness. It is space. It is room. It is me clearing a table for what will actually nourish you. And now hear this, because it will explain more than you realize. Some of what you have called loneliness was actually me closing doors you would have forced open. Some of the silence you hated was me refusing to let a counterfeit voice fill your life. Some of the unanswered messages were mercy, because you were one vulnerable night away from stepping back into a cycle I have been breaking. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you the pattern why every almost did not become yours, and why what felt like rejection was actually rescue. My child, I am about to speak plainly, because you have tried to make sense of what I interrupted, what I blocked, what I allowed to fall apart right when your heart started hoping again. And you have been tempted to blame yourself, as if every almost was proof that you are difficult to love. But I tell you the truth, much of what I stopped was not love at all. It was a counterfeit wearing the language of love. It was chemistry without covenant. It was attention without responsibility. It was desire without direction. It was someone wanting access to you without offering covering for you. And I will not let you call that a blessing simply because it felt exciting in the beginning. Counterfeit love is loud at first and empty later. It rushes you, pulls you, pressures you, and then disappears when it is time to be consistent. It knows how to say the right things and then resents you when you ask for the right fruit. It enjoys your softness but refuses your standards. It wants your body, your time, your emotional labor, your loyalty, but it does not want the weight of honoring you. It will flirt with your future while it feeds on your present. And if I had allowed you to attach to it, it would not have just broken your heart, it would have diluted your calling. It would have trained you to believe that love must always come with anxiety, that commitment must always be begged for, that being chosen must always be earned through overgiving and overexplaining and overperforming. Listen to me closely. You were not just picky. You were being protected. You were not missing chances. You were being spared. Because I saw what you could not see behind the compliments and the chemistry. I saw the instability. I saw the hidden appetite for control. I saw the emotional unavailability wrapped in charm. I saw the spiritual dryness that would have made your prayer life feel heavy and your worship feel numb. I saw how quickly you would have started shrinking. Not because you wanted to, but because you would have been forced to in order to keep the connection alive. And I did not create you to survive in a relationship. I created you to flourish in covenant. And this is why the pattern kept repeating until you learned to discern it. Because some of you have not been dating different people, you have been dating the same spirit in different bodies. The same inconsistency, just a different name. The same hot and cold, just a different face. The same confusion, the same unanswered questions. The same needing to decode what should have been clear. the same cycle of intensity and absence. The same moment you start to feel secure, and then the ground shifts under you again, and you wondered, why do I keep attracting this? My child, it was not attraction alone, it was familiarity. Chaos felt familiar to a part of you that learned to equate uncertainty with excitement. But familiarity is not confirmation. Familiarity is not my voice. Familiarity is not proof that something is meant for you. Sometimes familiarity is simply a wound recognizing a pattern it has lived in before. Do not ignore this warning. If you keep choosing what makes your nervous system feel busy, you will keep calling anxiety butterflies. If you keep choosing what keeps you guessing, you will keep calling confusion mystery. If you keep choosing what requires you to chase, you will keep calling pursuit passion. But I am training you to understand that real love will not make you lose yourself. Real love will not require you to abandon your peace to prove your worth. Real love will not live in riddles. I am not the author of confusion. I do not lead my children through emotional whiplash and call it romance. I did not let you attach to what would drain you, delay you, and redefine your worth, because counterfeit love always comes with a hidden invoice. It costs you your sleep. It costs you your focus. It costs you your joy. It costs you your confidence. It costs you your standards. It costs you your friendships, because you start isolating to manage someone else's mood. It costs you your time, because you spend it waiting for texts that should have come without begging. It costs you your prayer life because your mind is consumed with analyzing instead of abiding. It costs you your obedience because you start making decisions around their comfort instead of my direction. And by the time you realize what it is costing, you are so depleted you begin to question whether you were ever valuable at all. That is why I stepped in. That is why I closed it. That is why I made it uncomfortable. That is why I let it be exposed. That is why I did not let it become permanent. You thought I was taking something from you, but I was keeping something for you. I was keeping your peace. I was keeping your clarity. I was keeping your tenderness from being turned into trauma. I was keeping your yes from being wasted on someone who could not carry it. I was keeping your future from being negotiated away in the name of, at least I'm not alone. My child, being alone is not the worst thing. Being bound to what is wrong is far worse. Being chosen by someone who cannot honor you will cost you more than silence ever could. So let the near misses stop feeling like humiliation. Let them become evidence. Evidence that I am involved. Evidence that I am attentive. Evidence that I am serious about what I put on your life. You did not fail because it did not work. You were not rejected because it ended. Some of those endings were my hand pulling you back from an edge you did not see. Some of those disappointments were my mercy interrupting a destiny detour. Some of those people were not sent to be your spouse. They were permitted to reveal what you still needed to heal, what you still needed to discern, what you still needed to stop excusing. And now I am calling you higher in your discernment. Do not romanticize potential. Do not fall in love with words that have no weight. Do not be impressed by intensity that cannot become integrity. Pay attention to what follows peace. Pay attention to what multiplies your obedience. Pay attention to what makes you more like the person I am shaping you to be, not less. Because I am not only keeping you from counterfeit love, I am teaching you to recognize the real thing when it arrives, so you do not run back to a familiar chaos just because it knocked first. My child, I need you to look back again, but not with shame and not with regret. Look back with revelation, because those closed doors you keep replaying, those conversations that faded, those connections that got close enough to warm your hope and then went cold. You have been calling them loss, but I call them mercy. You have been calling them rejection, but I call them rescue. You were grieving what did not become yours, and all the while I was shielding you from what would have become a wound you did not yet have the language to describe. There are almosts, I ended, because you were one more compromise away from losing yourself. There are almosts, I interrupted, because you were about to turn your tenderness into a bargaining chip, offering more and more of your soul just to keep someone's attention. There are almosts I did not allow to solidify, because I saw the future that would have followed months of confusion, years of overfunctioning, a slow erosion of your confidence, and you calling it love simply because you were tired of starting over. I saw what you could not see, the patterns that would have intensified, the hidden motives that would have surfaced, the disrespect that would have grown bold once you were attached. And I loved you too much to let your destiny be tied to someone who would not protect your peace. And I know the question that rises in you when you see it work for everyone else. I know the private comparison you try to repent of, but it still whispers at night. Why did it happen for them? Why did they meet someone so easily? Why did their relationship progress while mine kept stalling? Listen to me closely and let this settle you. I do not write my children's stories on an assembly line. I do not measure your life with another person's timeline. I do not call you late simply because you are not matching the pace of someone else's season. There are seasons that are appointed, and there is protection that is customized. What someone else can survive would have drained you. What someone else can tolerate would have derailed you. What someone else is called to endure is not what I called you to carry. Some of them stepped into relationships before they were healed, and they are smiling in pictures while silently bleeding in private. Some of them rushed to be chosen, and now they are living with a constant ache they do not know how to name. Do not envy what you do not see. Do not measure your worth by what looks like speed. I am not impressed by fast. I am committed to right. I am committed to peace. I am committed to covenant. And if I delayed you, it was not because I delight in withholding. It was because I refused to reward your wounds with a lifelong commitment. Now hear me, because I am going to give you clarity about the signs you kept excusing. When I was saying no, you felt it as constant confusion. You had to decode simple things. You were always wondering where you stood. Your spirit was never settled. It was always bracing, always guessing, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. When I was saying no, there was inconsistency that kept you in a cycle. Warm one day, cold the next. Pursuit one week, silence the next. Promises in the dark, absence in the light. When I was saying no, there was hiddenness. They wanted you in private, but hesitated in public. They loved access, but they avoided accountability. When I was saying no, you were required to compromise values you used to protect. You began editing your convictions to keep the connection. You started calling your boundaries too much. You started shrinking your standards and calling it being understanding. And when I was saying no, your spiritual hunger started to dim. Prayer felt heavy. Worship felt distracted. Your joy became conditional on whether they texted you back. You were thinking about them more than you were thinking about me, not because you are evil, but because the connection was feeding anxiety, and anxiety is loud. My child, that was not romance. That was bondage trying to introduce itself as love. That was a door that looked beautiful on the outside, but behind it was a room where you would have slowly forgotten who you are. And you know this is true, because the moment it ended, even though it hurt, there was a strange relief underneath the grief. There was a quiet exhale you could not explain. That was your soul recognizing what your emotions were still attached to. That was my mercy pulling you out before it cost you more. So stop rewriting the past as if you failed. Stop rehearsing the, if I had said it differently, and if I had been easier, and if I had been less. I am the one who orders steps. I am the one who opens doors no man can shut, and shuts doors no man can open. And there were times I let it not work because it could not work without you abandoning yourself. There were times I let it fall apart because the foundation was already cracked, and the longer you stayed, the more you would have normalized pain as the price of partnership. Trust me when you do not understand me. Lean not on your own understanding when the detour confuses you. In all your ways acknowledge me, and I will make your path straight even when straight looks like a closure you did not ask for. Even when straight looks like a door you prayed would open staying shut. You keep thinking a straight path means no disappointment, but sometimes the straight path is the one that bypasses the trap. Sometimes the straight path is the one that keeps you from building a life on a lie. And listen, my mercy was not only in what I blocked out there. My mercy was also in what I was healing in here. Because I did not just keep you from counterfeit love, I began to expose the part of you that would have accepted crumbs and called it a meal. I began to touch the place in you that confused longing with compatibility and familiarity with safety. I began to restore your love filter so you stopped mistaking attention for affection and intensity for intimacy. I used the waiting to detox your spirit from the addiction to almost. So let every closed door become holy evidence. Evidence that I was present, evidence that I was protecting, Evidence that I was steering you away from a future where you would have had to recover from what you once called answered prayer. And now, because you are beginning to see it, I am about to take you deeper, not just into what I saved you from, but into what I have been repairing. So when the right door opens, you will not walk through it starving for scraps. You will walk through it whole, steady, and able to receive love that comes with peace. My child, I was not withholding love, I was healing your receivers, because you kept praying for a person, but I was focused on the part of you that would have treated pain as normal and called it loyalty. You kept asking me for partnership, and I kept touching the places in you that were still bracing for abandonment, still flinching when things got quiet, still interpreting distance as danger, still thinking you had to earn what should be freely honored. I was not punishing you with singleness. I was protecting you from receiving love through a damaged filter, because if your receiver is broken, you will misread the signal. You will call chasing chemistry. You will call inconsistency mystery. You will call emotional starvation depth. And then when something healthy finally stands in front of you, you will not recognize it, because it will not activate the wound you have lived with. Listen closely, because I am speaking to what you have hidden even from yourself. There was an abandonment fear in you that said, if I don't hold on tighter, they will leave. And because that fear was loud, you started choosing people you had to hold on to, people you had to convince, people you had to remind, people you had to manage. There was an approval addiction in you that said, if they like me, I am safe. If they choose me, I am valuable. And you started performing for affection. You started over-explaining to be understood. You started over-giving to be kept. You started tolerating what grieved you because you were afraid that confrontation would cost you connection. And you called it love, but it was survival. There was a performance mindset in you that did not begin in romance. It began earlier. It began in the way you learned to be strong so no one had to care for you. It began in the way you learned to achieve so you could feel seen. It began in the way you learned to be easy so you would not be left. And then you brought that into relationships, and you kept trying to be the safest, sweetest, most useful version of yourself so someone would finally stay. My child, that was not your destiny. That was a wound trying to negotiate for security, and I could not allow you to sign a covenant from that place, because if you enter love trying to prove you are worth keeping, you will spend the marriage trying to keep proving it. So I let you have space. I let you have quiet. I let you have a season where no one could fill the gap, because I was teaching you that you are not empty. I was teaching you that your value is not assigned by someone's attention. I was teaching you that you do not become precious when you become pursued. You are precious because I made you. You are mine before anyone ever claims you. You are chosen before you are chosen by. You belong before you are belonged to. And until you know that in your bones, you will keep letting people audition for the role of savior in your life, and then resenting them when they cannot do what only I can do. Hear me, a relationship that comes from me will add to your life. It will not become your source. It will not replace me. It will not become your oxygen. It will not be the thing you need in order to feel alive. Because if you make a person your source, you will tolerate anything to keep the supply flowing. You will shrink your boundaries to avoid withdrawal. You will call disrespect a rough season. You will call neglect, they're just busy. You will call lack of commitment, they're just healing. And you will keep bleeding quietly while smiling publicly, because your identity is attached to being chosen. But I am severing that lie. You do not need to be chosen to be valuable. You are valuable, so you must be chosen properly. This is why some of you felt exposed in the waiting, because when you could not distract yourself with someone's messages, you had to face the questions you avoided. Why do I feel anxious when I'm not being pursued? Why do I feel guilty when I set a boundary? Why do I feel like I'm too much when I ask for respect? Why do I feel like peace is boring, but chaos feels familiar? My child, I allowed those questions to rise because I heal with truth, not with denial. I heal by bringing the root into the light. I heal by teaching you to sit with me long enough that you stop running back to what wounds you just to feel wanted. And in the places you felt weakest, those nights when you admitted, I don't know how to do this anymore. Those moments when your heart whispered, I'm tired of being strong. Those tears you tried to pray through, those were not moments of failure. Those were holy entry points. Because as my word declares, my grace is sufficient for you, and my power is made perfect in weakness. The place you thought disqualified you became the place I strengthened you. The place you thought made you unlovable became the place I fathered you. The place you thought was too broken became the place I rebuilt you. I was healing your love filter. I was retraining your nervous system to stop calling anxiety connection. I was teaching you what safe love feels like. It feels steady. It feels clear. It feels consistent. It feels honorable. It feels like you can breathe. It feels like you do not have to chase someone to keep them near. It feels like you can say no without being punished. It feels like you can be honest without being abandoned. It feels like you can rest without fearing the rug will be pulled out from under you. That is what I have been forming in you. The ability to receive without fear, to love without losing yourself, to discern without denying your own spirit. So do not despise this season, my precious soul. Do not call it wasted. Do not call it delay, as if I am careless with your tears. I was doing surgery while you thought I was doing nothing. I was removing the hooks that made you easy to manipulate. I was closing the cracks where counterfeit love could leak in. I was teaching you that you are not hard to love. You are simply no longer available for what is wrong. And this is the bridge you must carry into what comes next. Healed people recognize real love because it feels like peace, not a chase. It feels like alignment, not confusion. It feels like clarity, not constant decoding. And if you will let me finish this healing, you will stop settling for less, not because you became colder, but because you became whole. Now listen to me closely, my child, because I did not heal you only so you could feel better. I healed you so you could see better. I did not bring you through quiet nights and hard boundaries and uncomfortable endings just so you could survive. I brought you through them so you could discern. Because if you cannot discern, you will keep calling the same trap by a different name. And I am not allowing you to step into the next season with yesterday's appetite. I am training your discernment, and peace will be the proof. Hear this revelation and let it settle deep in you. My confirmation is consistent. Chaos is compulsive. What comes from me does not have to be chased. What comes from me does not require you to abandon your dignity to keep it alive. What comes from me may challenge you, yes, but it will not torment you. It will not keep you in a cycle where you are always wondering, always decoding, always bracing for the next shift in their mood, the next cold silence, the next disappearing act. I do not lead my children by anxiety. I do not guide you by confusion. I do not speak and then leave you to interpret riddles, as if love is a puzzle you must solve to earn safety. Some of you have been calling it a sign because it was intense. You have been calling it spiritual because it was consuming. You have been calling it deep because it activated your wounds. But I am telling you, my precious soul, intensity is not intimacy, chemistry is not covenant, and pursuit is not purpose. There are people who will pursue you because they want access, not because they have alignment. There are people who will come in fast because they are trying to bypass discernment. There are people who will speak future because they want to secure your present. Do not be impressed by speed. Do not be flattered by urgency. Do not mistake someone's appetite for you as proof they are assigned to you. I trained you to pay attention to the witness inside you, the place where my spirit speaks quietly, steadily, faithfully. And I want you to test what you call love with a practical, holy check. What happens in your body and in your spirit when you bring this person before me? Do you become calm, clear, and aligned? Do you feel able to pray? Do you feel able to sleep? Do you feel more like yourself, whole, honest, unashamed? Or do you become anxious, obsessive, and confused? Do you start rehearsing conversations in your head? Do you start checking your phone like it is a lifeline? Do you start over-explaining, over-giving, over-functioning just to keep their attention warm? Do you feel your peace leaking out, your worship thinning, your boundaries feeling too hard because you are afraid they will leave? My child, that is not the fruit of what I send. That is the alarm of what I am exposing. Because when something is from me, it may require patience, but it will not require panic. When something is from me, it will not demand you betray your own spirit to maintain it. When something is from me, it will carry the signature of peace, not perfect circumstances, but a settled knowing. You will not have to beg for basic respect. You will not have to barter your standards for attention. You will not have to shrink your voice to keep someone near. The love that is from me will not punish your honesty. It will not punish your no. It will not punish your need for clarity. It will honor what I healed in you. And I am speaking this urgently, because some of you are about to be tested. A door that used to pull you back into old patterns may try to reopen. A familiar voice may try to return with new words, but the same spirit. An old connection may come with apologies, explanations, and emotional intensity. And the temptation will be to call it answered prayer simply because it knocks again. But do not answer from loneliness. Do not answer from the fear of starting over. Do not answer from the ache of waiting. If it is from me, it will meet you in peace. If it is from me, it will respect the healing. If it is from me, it will not compete with your relationship with me, it will align with it. Listen, my child. I am not silent about direction. I am not distant when you ask me to guide you. My word declares it. You will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it," when you turn to the right or to the left. That is how I lead, with direction, not torment, with clarity, not confusion, with conviction, not compulsion. And if you have to keep convincing yourself, if you have to keep forcing peace, if you have to keep ignoring the check in your spirit, you are not being led, you are being pulled. And what pulls you is often what drains you. So I taught you this. Peace is not boring. Peace is holy. Peace is protection. Peace is how you recognize what is safe. And I know you have been conditioned to think that if it is not dramatic, it is not real. If it is not a roller coaster, it is not love. But I am rewiring you. I am teaching you that real love is steady. Real love is consistent. Real love is not a weekly crisis. Real love does not keep you in withdrawal and relief. Withdrawal and relief. Silence and rush. Silence and rush. That cycle is not romance. It is bondage. And I did not deliver you from one prison just to let you decorate another. This is why I kept you single longer than you wanted, because discernment cannot be rushed. Discernment is not a talent, it is a muscle. It is trained by choosing peace when chaos feels familiar. It is strengthened by obeying me when your emotions beg you to compromise. It is matured by waiting long enough for fruit to show up, not just words. And now that you are becoming sober in spirit, now that you are no longer impressed by crumbs, now that you can feel the difference between calm and compulsion, I am preparing to show you something even deeper, my order. Because I do not present covenant love on an unstable foundation. I do not build a future on unformed character. I do not send what is precious into what is unprepared. There is an order in my kingdom, and you are about to see it plainly. Before love is sent, the foundation is formed. Before the gift is presented, the vessel is prepared. And this is why I am taking you to the beginning, back to Genesis, so you understand that what you have called delay was actually design, and what you have called loneliness was actually training, and what you have called nothing happening was me forming a life that can hold peace when real love finally arrives. Now come with me to the beginning, my child, because I do not want you guessing about my ways. I want you grounded in my order. In Genesis, I did not rush love. I did not panic create partnership. I did not look at Adam and say, he feels lonely, quick send him a person. No, I established a pattern that still speaks over you today. I formed, I planted, I positioned, I assigned, and then I presented. Hear me clearly, because this is where the veil lifts for some of you. In Genesis 2, before Eve ever appears in the story, I am already working with Adam. I form him from the dust, and then I breathe into him the breath of life. Identity comes before intimacy. Breath comes before embrace. I did not introduce a spouse to give him purpose. I gave him purpose before I gave him partnership. I did not let love become his source. I established me as his source. And I need you to see this, because some of you have been trying to use relationship as oxygen, when I designed relationship to be companionship, not CPR. Then I planted a Garden Eden, and I put the man there. Do you see the order? I planted before I presented. I prepared an environment before I provided a companion. I set him in a place with provision, with boundaries, with beauty, with responsibility. I did not call it punishment. I called it placement. I did not call it delay. I called it destiny. And I am telling you, my precious soul, the place you have called nothing happening has been your placement. I have been planting around you. I have been building an atmosphere within you where covenant can live without choking. And then I gave Adam assignment. I told him to tend and to keep. I gave him stewardship before romance. I taught him that love is not a distraction from responsibility. Love must be able to sit beside responsibility and not compete with it. I gave him purpose before I gave him a partner, because partnership without purpose becomes pressure. When a person arrives before you are formed, they become the weight you expect to hold you up. And what you expect to hold you up will eventually feel like a burden when it can only walk beside you. And I did something else that many of you have overlooked, but I will not let you miss it today. I brought the animals to Adam, and he named them. Naming was not busy work. Naming was discernment. Naming was identity clarity. Naming was governance. It was me teaching him to recognize what is what belongs where, what is compatible, what is not. There were many living things around him, but none were suitable. Do you hear me? He had options, but not alignment. He had proximity, but not covenant. And I let him see it, not to tease him, but to train him. I let him practice recognition so he would not confuse availability with assignment. Some of you have been angry that I did not let certain people stay, and I am saying to you, with a father's tenderness and a king's authority, I was not delaying you, I was ordering you. I was teaching you to name what you were feeling, to name what you were tolerating, to name what you were excusing, to name what you were calling love when it was only loneliness trying to find relief. Because if you cannot name a thing, you cannot rule it. If you cannot identify a pattern, you cannot break it. And I did not bring you this far just for you to hand your healed heart to the first person who feels familiar. Now listen, because Genesis does not say I gave Adam Eve to complete his identity. It shows that I dealt with his formation first. I established his relationship with me. I established his home. I established his work. I established his boundaries. And when the time was right, I caused a deep sleep to fall on him, and I created Eve from his side close enough to his heart to be loved, strong enough beside him to be honored, not beneath him to be used, not above him to be worshipped. And I presented her. I brought her. I introduced what he did not chase. This is the pattern of my hand in your life. What is truly from me does not require you to chase it in panic. It may require you to be ready, but it will not require you to be frantic. It will not require you to betray your convictions. It will not require you to perform to be kept. I am a God of order, and when I order a thing, I time it. When I time it, it fits. When it fits, it carries peace. And some of you have been trying to force a presentation when I am still in formation. Because relationships that arrive before maturity create strain. They create confusion. They create imbalance. One person becomes the manager, the fixer, the pursuer, the overgiver, the one always stretching while the other remains unformed. And you call it love, but it is labor without covering. It is covenant language on a foundation that cannot hold it. But when love arrives in season, it creates stability. It does not erase your life, it joins your life. It does not interrupt your purpose, it strengthens your purpose. It does not compete with my voice, it confirms my voice. It does not feel like you are constantly trying to keep someone. It feels like you are building with someone. So, I need you to stop calling this season empty, my child. You have been an Eden work. You have been tending what I gave you. You have been keeping your boundaries. You have been naming what is not for you. You have been learning the difference between attention and affection, between chemistry and covenant, between someone who wants access and someone who carries alignment. You have been building capacity, strengthening discernment, establishing patterns of peace. You have been becoming the kind of person who can receive love without losing yourself. And yes, there have been nights you did not understand the quiet. There have been moments you wondered if I forgot you. But I did not forget Adam in Eden, and I have not forgotten you in your season of formation. I was close. I was intentional. I was exact. Because the love I intend to give you is not meant to be another lesson you barely survive. It is meant to be a holy partnership you can steward. That is why I formed first. That is why I assigned first. That is why I taught you to name first. That is why I planted first. Because presentation without preparation produces pain, but preparation before presentation produces peace. So breathe, my precious soul. Let Genesis settle you. Let my order quiet the accusation in your mind that says, I'm behind. You are not behind. You are being built. You are being positioned. You are being ordered. And as surely as I brought Eve to Adam in the right time, I am able to bring what is aligned to you without you scrambling, without you settling, without you shrinking. Stay in my order. Stay in my peace. Stay in your Eden work. Because what I am preparing is not a counterfeit that costs your calling. It is covenant love that will meet you whole, and it will feel like rest, not rescue. And now I will tell you what that season has been, because I do not train you for nothing, my child. The waiting was not a hallway where you pace in circles. The waiting was a weight room, and you have been lifting things you did not even know you would need to lift. You have been strengthening places in you that would have collapsed under the weight of answered prayer, because you asked me for real love, and real love requires a real container. Real covenant is not a moment, it is a life. And if the container is fragile, even a good gift can feel heavy. So hear me clearly. Capacity is not just how much affection you can feel. Capacity is how well you can communicate when you are tired, when you are triggered, when you are misunderstood. Capacity is how you regulate your emotions so you do not punish someone for a wound they did not create. Capacity is how you listen without preparing a defense, how you speak truth without becoming cruel, how you stay present without shutting down, how you repair without running. Capacity is how you hold boundaries without guilt, how you say no without trembling, how you require honor without apologizing for it. Capacity is consistency, showing up with the same integrity in private that you display in public. And I have been building that in you, rep by rep, in the quiet where no one applauds. Some of you thought you were only waiting for a person, but you were actually learning to steward partnership. You were learning financial wisdom so love does not become another form of lack. You were learning to manage what I put in your hands, to stop leaking resources out of fear, to stop spending to soothe, to stop giving to people who do not value what you pour. You were learning to plan, to save, to build, to live within peace instead of impulse. Because covenant love is not only romance, it is responsibility. And I will not send you into a future where stress devours tenderness because you were never taught stewardship in the season of preparation. And yes, my child, capacity is spiritual too. It is spiritual leadership when you are called to lead, and humble fellowship when you are called to support. It is knowing how to pray instead of panic, how to seek me instead of seeking control, how to cover your home in peace instead of filling it with suspicion. I have been teaching you to bring me into decisions before you bring emotions into decisions. I have been teaching you to ask, what does heaven say? Before you ask, what do they feel? Because feelings are real, but they are not always true. And I did not design you to be led by a wave when I gave you an anchor. Do not despise the heaviness you felt in this season, because the hardest reps often happen right before strength shows. There were days you wanted to quit. There were days you wanted to text the person you finally got free from. There were days you wanted to lower your standards just to stop feeling alone. And you thought that resistance meant you were failing, but I tell you, that resistance was the muscle tearing so it could grow. That ache was proof that something in you was being rebuilt. The battle felt loud because the upgrade was real. The enemy does not fight what has no future. He fights what is about to carry weight. This is why I let the silence stretch, not because I enjoy your longing, but because I love your future. In the silence, I built self-respect where you used to barter. In the silence, I built patience where you used to rush. In the silence, I built a prayer life where you used to spiral. In the silence, I built standards that do not move when attention knocks. In the silence, I taught you how to walk away without begging, without bargaining, without explaining yourself into exhaustion. I taught you that closure is not always a conversation. Sometimes closure is obedience. Sometimes closure is you choosing dignity. Sometimes closure is you refusing to reopen what I delivered you from. And I know you have felt the temptation to measure your life by what is missing, but I have been measuring your life by what is maturing. You can see now what you used to excuse. You can feel now what you used to numb. You can hear now what you used to ignore. You can tell when someone is inconsistent, when their words are inflated but their actions are empty, when their presence costs you peace. That is not you becoming cold, that is you becoming clear. That is you becoming strong. That is you becoming safe for covenant, because covenant cannot be held by someone who collapses every time they fear being left. Because I did not keep you single just to keep you available. I kept you single so you would not enter love, still bleeding. I kept you single so you would not turn marriage into a hospital where you demand someone else become your healer. I kept you single so you would stop confusing anxiety with connection and stop calling a roller coaster passion. I kept you single so you could learn that steady is not boring. Steady is trustworthy. Steady is what lets you build. Steady is what lets you sleep. Steady is what lets you pray with a clear mind and love with clean hands. And I am saying this to you with urgency, my precious soul, because some of you are nearing a door, and when it opens, the old you would have sprinted through it just because it looked like an answer. But the new you will walk because you have learned pace. You have learned to test fruit. You have learned to watch patterns. You have learned that a consistent yes is more valuable than a dramatic apology. You have learned that words are not provision, alignment is provision, and that is capacity. Now let this settle you. I did not strengthen you to tease you. I did not train you to leave you in the gym forever. Training has a purpose. Preparation has a date. And what you have been asking me for, real love, peaceful love, covenant love, will not crush you when it comes, because you will have the shoulders to carry it. You will have the mind to steward it. You will have the boundaries to protect it. You will have the discernment to recognize it. You will have the peace to keep it holy. And do not assume you are the only one being built. Do not assume you are the only one in process. While you were growing in the waiting, I was also working where you could not see. I have been strengthening the other heart too. I have been dealing with their character, their discipline, their commitment, their ability to lead with integrity and love with consistency. I have been closing their doors, correcting their appetites, removing their distractions, teaching them what honor costs. Because I do not connect two people for covenant when only one has been trained to carry it. I am a God who aligns both sides, and I do not waste preparation. So stay in peace, my child. Stay in the weight room until I say the set is complete. Do not rush out because you are tired. Do not quit because your muscles are sore. You are not being punished. You are being strengthened. And when the appointed time arrives, you will not have to shrink to fit love. You will not have to strain to keep love. You will be ready to hold what you prayed for, and it will feel like you can finally breathe, because you will have the capacity for covenant. Now listen even closer, my child, because the enemy has tried to make you believe that if you cannot see it, it is not happening. He has tried to make you interpret quiet as rejection, delay as denial, and waiting as evidence that I have forgotten your name. But I am telling you today, heaven is still working on what you cannot see on both sides of the promise, not only in you, not only around you, but also in the one meant to love you well. You have been asking me, where are they? And you have pictured an empty room, an empty road, an empty future. But you do not see the rooms I have been cleaning. You do not see the doors I have been closing. You do not see the conversations I have been interrupting. You do not see the addictions I have been confronting. You do not see the pride I have been breaking. You do not see the immaturity I have been burning out of them in the fire of consequences. You do not see the hidden grief I have been pulling to the surface so it cannot leak into your covenant later. You do not see the way I have been teaching them to apologize without manipulation, to commit without disappearing, to lead without controlling, to love without keeping a secret life. And some of you needed to hear this because you have been blaming yourself for timing that was never yours to carry. You have said, maybe if I were prettier, maybe if I were more accomplished, maybe if I were less guarded, maybe if I healed faster, as if your worth could hurry. My calendar, my child, your value is not the problem. My protection is the reason, because I will not bring you into covenant with someone who still needs you to be their savior. I will not attach your healed heart to a person who has not yet learned how to hold peace without sabotaging it. I will not let your future become a classroom for someone who refused to learn in their own season of instruction. There were things in them that had to be confronted in private before they could ever love you in public. There were patterns of avoidance that had to be named. There were family cycles that had to be broken. There were wrong appetites that had to lose their taste. There were wounds that made them confuse control with safety, or silence with strength, or flirtation with connection. And I have been doing what only I can do, reaching places you cannot reach, touching areas you would have tried to tolerate, exposing what you might have excused because you wanted the ending so badly. Do you understand what I was saving you from? Not just a counterfeit relationship, an unnecessary war inside your home. I guarded you, from marrying potential while bleeding in reality. I guarded you from building a life on, "I think they'll change," while your peace slowly starved. I guarded you from the kind of love that speaks covenant but lives convenience. And I guarded them too, because if I brought them to you too early, they would have mishandled you. And then the enemy would have used their immaturity to convince you that love is always painful. But I am not writing that story over you. I am not letting your testimony be. I finally got the promise, and it broke me. No, when I give good. When I align with peace. So the silence you have felt has not been my absence. It has been my construction. It has been scaffolding. It has been me building something sturdy enough to hold what you keep praying for. You have been looking at the quiet like an empty field, but I have been looking at it like a foundation drying in the right temperature. Because if you pour too soon, it cracks. If you rush it, it crumbles. And then you will spend years repairing what a little patience could have protected. There are locations I have been shifting. There are timelines I have been bending. There are jobs, assignments, and obediences I have been arranging so that when you meet, it is not forced, it is not frantic, it is not a near miss that becomes a wound. I have been aligning schedules you cannot control. I have been moving pieces you cannot reach. I have been redirecting detours that would have caused you to meet them in a season where one of you would have been too hungry, too broken, too impressed by attention, too willing to settle for less than honor. I have been keeping you from meeting at the wrong time and calling it fate when it would have been a fracture. And I know, my child, you have wondered if the vision in your heart was just imagination. You have wondered if the desire I placed in you was cruel. But hear me, the vision still stands, and it awaits its appointed time. It is not late, it is not lying, it is not teasing you. It will speak, it will come, and it will not arrive 1 second outside of my wisdom. Because I do not just give gifts, I guard them until they can be received without being ruined. Some of you have been tempted to run ahead and grab the first hand that reaches for you, because the waiting has been heavy. But do not trade alignment for relief. Do not call attention, answered prayer, if it costs you peace. Do not step out of my covering because you are tired of being alone. I am not delaying you to deprive you. I am delaying you to protect you. And I am not only protecting you from them, I am protecting you for them, and them for you. Because when I join two lives in covenant, I am joining futures, lineages, assignments, and purpose. And what is that precious cannot be handled casually. So let this reframe you right now. Every quiet day has been a day of unseen progress. Every closed door has been mercy for both of you. Every not yet has been me saying, I love your future too much to rush this. I have been preparing the one meant to love you well, and I have been preparing you to recognize them without fear, without striving, without confusion. You will not have to beg them to be consistent. You will not have to convince them to choose you. You will not have to audition for security. When I finish what I am doing, what comes will not feel like you are chasing love down a hallway. It will feel like two whole hearts meeting under my hand, in my timing, with my peace as the proof. So stay steady, my child. Do not interpret my silence as neglect. It is alignment. Do not interpret the delay as punishment. It is protection. The path is being guarded because the future is precious. And when I bring it together, you will look back and realize, I was not withholding love from you. I was preserving it for you. Now listen, my child, because for many of you, the reason this has not only felt like waiting but like warfare is because it has been. You have not been imagining the pressure. You have not been exaggerating the heaviness. You have not been too sensitive. There has been resistance in the atmosphere around your promise, and it intensified precisely because something significant is near. The enemy does not waste his energy on what has no future. He does not spend arrows on a door that leads nowhere. He attacks what carries destiny. He targets what is about to shift. He grows loud when he senses that your discernment is becoming clear and your standards are becoming stable, because he knows that once you stop settling, his access to you through pain begins to close. And I need you to hear me carefully, because I will not let you misinterpret the battle. The battle is not proof that you are unwanted. The battle is not proof that you are forgotten. The battle is not proof that you missed your moment. The battle is often proof that you are closer than you think. It is proof that something in you has changed. It is proof that you are no longer as easy to lure with crumbs. So the enemy comes with a familiar script, and he tries to speak it in your voice. He tries to make you say, God forgot me. He tries to make you assume, this is taking too long, so I must not matter. He tries to wrap shame around your desire and make you feel guilty for wanting covenant, as if the longing I placed in you is a weakness instead of a signal of what I designed you for. That is why the nights have been strange for some of you. That is why temptation has felt louder after you made a decision to be healed. That is why memories have tried to return like a movie you cannot shut off. That is why you have felt the pull to text what I freed you from, to entertain what you prayed to escape, to reopen doors that took you months to close. Because the enemy is not creative, he is consistent. He brings counterfeit connections to distract you when you are close to clarity. He sends attention without honor. He offers chemistry without commitment. He offers conversation that feels exciting but leaves you empty. He sends people who speak your language but do not carry your values. And he times it for the moment you feel most tired, most lonely, most unseen, because he wants you to make permanent decisions from temporary pain. Some of you have been attacked with comparison. You scroll and you see engagements, weddings, pregnancies, anniversaries, and it hits you like a wave, and the enemy whispers, you're late, you're behind, everybody else got chosen. And I am telling you, my child, comparison is not a mirror, it is a trap. You do not know what I saved you from. You do not know what they tolerated to get what they posted. You do not know what is happening behind the picture. And you do not know the timing I set for you, timing that is not meant to shame you but to secure you. Do not let someone else's highlight reel become the knife the enemy uses to cut your faith. Do not measure my love by their timeline. I am not running a race against anyone. I am writing a story, and I write with precision. And then there is the attack of shame. The enemy tries to make you feel embarrassed for still hoping, embarrassed for still desiring, embarrassed for still praying. He tries to make you think you are foolish for believing me after disappointment. He tries to make you hide your tears and pretend you do not care, because he knows that if he can get you cynical, he can get you careless. He knows that cynicism is just disappointment wearing armor, and armor can block love if you keep it on too long. But hear me, I do not shame you for wanting what I called good. I do not mock you for desiring covenant. I do not punish you for being human. Bring me the ache, bring me the questions, but do not let the enemy turn your pain into a philosophy that lowers your standards. And yes, my child, the enemy has also attacked through compromise, through late-night decisions, secret conversations, hidden apps, just this once, just to feel something, just to not be alone. He tries to pull you back into old patterns when you are most vulnerable, because he wants you bonded to what I delivered you from. He wants you familiar with chaos again, so peace feels strange. He wants you to call anxiety butterflies. He wants you to call inconsistency excitement. He wants you to call lust love. And I am speaking to you with a father's firmness now. Stay sober in spirit. Stay awake. Stay clear. Do not run back to what I delivered you from. Do not romanticize the prison because you forgot how cold it was. Do not reopen a wound because you missed the attention that touched it. Do you remember how you prayed to get free? Do you remember how you cried when you finally let go? Do you remember how you asked me to break the cycle? Then do not return to it because you are having a lonely week. Do not trade your future for a moment of relief. Do not let your body make a covenant your spirit cannot sustain. Do not let your emotions sign a contract your destiny will pay for. I have not brought you this far for you to collapse at the edge of the breakthrough. The enemy is counting on your fatigue. He is counting on you to get impatient and say, I deserve this, while he hides the cost. He always hides the cost at the beginning. But I see the end from the beginning, and I am warning you because I love you. And I will tell you the truth that will steady you. If the enemy is trying this hard to distract you, discourage you, seduce you, and shame you, it is because he knows your next season is not built on begging, it is built on peace. He knows real love is going to require discernment, and discernment is what he fears in you. He knows that once you can recognize fruit, you will stop eating counterfeits. He knows that once you can identify patterns, you will stop calling red flags just their personality. He knows that once you require honor, manipulators lose their leverage. So he floods your mind with noise to keep you from hearing my voice, because my voice will always lead you to peace. So let this be your anchor. Resistance is not a sentence. It is a signal. It is a signal that your future is valuable. It is a signal that your heart is being guarded. It is a signal that your standards matter, and I am not leaving you to fight alone. I am giving you wisdom for this season. I am giving you warnings before wounds. I am giving you clarity before commitment. But you must participate with me. You must guard your gates. You must stop entertaining what you already discerned. You must stop negotiating with what drains you. You must stop calling it nothing when your spirit keeps feeling uneasy. Stay close to me now. Stay in prayer, not panic. Stay in truth, not fantasy. Stay in community, not isolation. And do not ignore the way peace keeps trying to lead you. Because in the next breath, I am going to tell you what to do while you wait, how to keep your standards, how to set your boundaries, how to move with readiness without rushing, how to be open without being available to anything. The battle has been real, my child, but so is my covering. And if you will stay sober in spirit, if you will keep your heart, you will not just survive this season, you will step into love with clean hands, clear eyes, and peace as the proof. Now listen closely, my child, because waiting with me is not sitting in the dark with your life on pause. Waiting with me is readiness. Waiting with me is alignment. Waiting with me is you staying available to my will without being available to every voice that knocks. And I am speaking this with clarity because some of you have called it patience. But what you have been doing is tolerating half-effort, entertaining inconsistency, and giving your attention to people who only show up when it is convenient. That is not waiting, that is bleeding. So, I am giving you instruction, not to control you, but to cover you. First, stop entertaining what cannot carry covenant. Stop answering late-night confusion like it is a compliment. Stop rewarding minimal effort with full access to your heart, your body, your time, your peace. My child, if they cannot show responsibility in the beginning, they will not magically become responsible once you are attached. If they cannot honor you in small ways now, they will not suddenly honor you in large ways later. Do not call potential provision. Do not call chemistry character. Do not call attention intention. I am training you to value fruit, not flattering words. I am training you to watch patterns, not promises. And I am telling you, you are allowed to require clarity. You are allowed to ask direct questions. You are allowed to expect consistency. You are allowed to walk away from mixed signals without explaining yourself into exhaustion. Second, clarify your non-negotiables in my presence and do not apologize for them. Put them before me in prayer and let me purify them, because I am not telling you to build a list out of pride. I am teaching you to build standards out of wisdom. Decide what you will not bend on: faith, integrity, emotional maturity, honesty, fidelity, willingness to commit, readiness to build, the ability to communicate and repair. Decide what your home will not host: secrecy, addiction that refuses help, disrespect that hides behind jokes, anger that intimidates, manipulation that calls itself love, a lifestyle that makes peace impossible. My child, if you do not decide in peace, you will negotiate in loneliness. If you do not set your boundaries in daylight, you will break them in the dark. So write the vision, make it plain, and then let your yes be holy and your no be firm. Third, let me heal the attachment triggers that keep pulling you toward what hurts you. Some of you confuse intensity with intimacy because chaos was your first language. Some of you fear calm because calm feels unfamiliar. Some of you chase people who are emotionally unavailable because it matches an old wound, and your flesh calls it chemistry when it is actually a cycle. Bring that to me. Do not hide it. Do not spiritualize it away. Let me touch the place in you that panics when someone pulls back. Let me touch the place in you that overgives to earn safety. Let me touch the place in you that feels guilty for having needs. Because I am not just preparing a relationship. I am preparing you to receive love without sabotaging it, to be chosen without trembling, to be steady without suspicion. Real love will not require you to perform for peace. Real love will not make you feel like you have to earn basic kindness. Fourth, seek wise counsel and strengthen holy community, because isolation makes you easy to deceive. I did not design you to discern everything alone, especially when your heart is involved. Bring what you are seeing to trusted voices, people who can tell the truth without envy, people who can challenge you without controlling you, people who will ask you the questions your emotions do not want to answer. My child, some of the greatest protection I give you comes through community that will not let you romanticize red flags. So, stop hiding the situation you are in. Stop protecting someone's image while your spirit is unsettled. If it has to stay secret to survive, it is not from me. What is from me can stand in the light. Now hear me on this, because this is where many of you have stumbled. I am calling you to peace-led choices. Do not rush a yes just because you are tired of waiting. Do not confuse urgency with my voice. My voice is clear. My voice is steady. My voice does not bully you. When I confirm something, I can confirm it without anxiety. When I lead you with peace as the proof. So slow down and watch what happens when you do not immediately comply with their pace. Watch what happens when you require effort, when you require planning, when you require honor. If they are from me, they will not punish you for having boundaries. If they are mature, they will not call your standards too much. If they are ready, they will not disappear when you ask for clarity. A person sent to steward you will not be offended by what protects you. And here is a simple test I want you to use, because I will make it plain. Do they move toward responsibility, consistency, and honor, or do they move toward secrecy, excuses, and confusion? Do they take ownership, or do they always have a story? Do they keep their word, or do they only have emotional speeches? Do they bring you into the light of their life, or do they keep you in the shadows where accountability cannot reach? Do they pursue peace, or do they feed drama and keep you guessing? My child, I am not asking you to be suspicious. I am teaching you to be sober, because you have a tender heart, and I refuse to let tenderness become a doorway for manipulation. And while you wait, I want you to live. Be seen in real life. Step out of hiding. Stop making your world so small that the only excitement you have is a message on a screen. Serve. Build skills. Grow in discipline. Strengthen your body. Strengthen your mind. Clean your space. Put your hands to what I already put in your heart. Study. Create. Work with excellence. Love your friends well. Show up at the gatherings you have been avoiding. Some of you keep praying for a new season, but you keep living like you are still in the old one. Preparation is active. Readiness has footsteps, and I will often meet you in motion, because obedience creates intersections you cannot plan. So pray, yes, but pray with readiness, not desperation. Pray with trust, not fear. Say to me, Father, keep my heart soft and my standards strong. Keep me open but not naive. Keep me loving but not available to confusion. Keep me patient without becoming passive. Keep me peaceful without becoming numb. And when someone approaches you, do not hand them a crown because they showed interest. Let time reveal fruit. Let consistency speak. Let honor prove itself. You do not need to rush to be chosen. You are already mine. And what is mine cannot be stolen by delay. And I am telling you this now, with urgency and tenderness, because a shift is coming in how you are approached. The enemy has tried to send rushed invitations and counterfeit doors, but I am teaching you to recognize the difference. Something is about to change in the kind of conversations that find you, in the tone of what is offered, in the weight of what is presented. And you will not be impressed by intensity. You will be anchored in peace. You will not be flattered by pursuit that cannot sustain. You will require responsibility. You will not be moved by words alone. You will look for alignment. So stand your ground, my child. Keep your boundaries without guilt. Keep your standards without shame. Keep your prayer life without performance. I am not asking you to wait in misery. I am calling you to wait in peace. And if you will do this, if you will stop entertaining half-effort, clarify your non-negotiables, let me heal your triggers, seek wise counsel, strengthen community, and make decisions led by peace. You will not miss what is real when it arrives. You will recognize it, you will be ready, and you will feel the difference immediately, because confusion will not be the soundtrack, peace will be the proof. Now listen, my child, because I am not only teaching you how to wait, I am telling you what is changing. Today, the silence is breaking in ways you have not been able to measure yet. And I need you to hear me with your heart. Do not despise small beginnings of movement. Do not overlook the first calm conversation. Do not ignore the first consistent effort. Do not talk yourself out of what is healthy just because it doesn't arrive with chaos. Some of you have been conditioned to only recognize love when it is loud, urgent, and unstable. But I am shifting you. I am retraining your spirit. I am showing you that what is from me does not have to shake you to hold you. And when this shift comes, and it is nearer than you think, real love will not require you to beg for basics. You will not have to bargain for a returned call. You will not have to negotiate for honesty. You will not have to perform for consideration. You will not have to shrink to keep someone comfortable. You will not have to keep explaining your worth to someone who benefits from pretending they cannot see it. I am ending that cycle. I am closing the chapter where you were always almost. Always maybe, always soon, always when things settle down. Always, I'm not ready but don't leave. Always, I like you but, my child, I am not bringing you into covenant with someone who speaks in fog. Covenant has language. Covenant has weight. Covenant has clarity. Hear me. The markers of what I am sending will be clear. There will be intention, not insinuation. There will be pursuit, not pressure. There will be honorable timing, not rushed access. There will be emotional safety, not emotional roulette. There will be spiritual alignment, not spiritual competition. There will be consistency, not chemistry that burns bright and then disappears. The one I am aligning will not use confusion as a leash. They will not keep you close with crumbs so you never require a meal. They will not hide you, then call it privacy. They will not keep you in the shadows and call it being cautious. They will not ask you for benefits while refusing responsibility. I am teaching you to recognize the difference. And I am telling you now, so you do not get afraid when healthy love feels unfamiliar. Because some of you, if I am honest, you have grown used to guessing games. You have grown used to reading tone, watching timestamps, decoding silence, interpreting mixed signals like it is your assignment. You have called anxiety discernment. You have called obsession connection. You have called breadcrumbing hope. You have called inconsistency. They're just busy. You have called hidden intentions mystery. But I am removing that appetite from you. I am healing the part of you that thought you had to earn what should be freely offered in honor. And the next love I bring near you will not need you to chase it down a hallway. It will meet you in the open. It will stand in the light. It will have nothing to prove through manipulation because it will be built on truth. So when you see movement, do not panic. When you see a door opening, do not rush through it with old hunger. When you notice a new kind of conversation finding you clearer, steadier, more respectful, do not sabotage it because it feels calm. Real love will not come with a constant knot in your stomach. Real love will not keep you up at night, rehearsing what to say so you do not ruin it. Real love will not punish you for asking for clarity. Real love will not call your boundaries drama. Real love will not require you to betray your standards to keep someone interested. The person I send will feel the weight of stewardship. They will understand that access to you is sacred, and they will not be offended by the pace that protects you. They will honor it. And listen carefully, because this is where the enemy will try one last trick. When something real begins to approach, he will try to remind you of what hurt you, so you will flinch at what is good. He will whisper, "It's going to end anyway," so you keep your heart locked. He will whisper, "You're not enough," so you start overgiving. He will whisper, "Don't get excited," so you stay numb. But I am speaking over that lie right now. You are not being set up for heartbreak. You are being set up for honor. You are not being teased. You are being prepared. You are not being forgotten. You are being aligned. And I am not asking you to be naive. I am asking you to be free. Free to receive without fear. Free to discern without suspicion. Free to hope without shame. Stay with me right here, my child. Do not click away in your spirit. Do not let your mind wander into old stories. Stay with me, because your heart needs to hear how to recognize this without fear. When it is from me, it will not fracture your peace to keep your attention. It will add to your life, not drain it. It will encourage your prayer life, not replace it. It will not isolate you from wise counsel. It will respect it. It will not compete with your calling. It will support it. It will not require you to hide parts of yourself to be loved. It will make you feel safe enough to be whole. And I am telling you this as a father who has been watching every tear you wiped when nobody knew. Every night you felt the ache and still chose purity, still chose wisdom, still chose to close the door even when your body wanted comfort. I saw you, I counted it, I honored it, and I am not going to reward your obedience with another lesson in disrespect. I am bringing you into a season where you will not have to beg someone to do what love naturally does. You will not have to plead for consistency. You will not have to convince them to show up. You will not have to settle for someday when your spirit is ready for now in the right order. So let expectation rise without striving. Let hope return without desperation. Let your standards stand without apology. And as this shift approaches, I want you to start replacing shame with holy anticipation. Not the kind of anticipation that makes you frantic, but the kind that makes you peaceful because you know I keep my word. In the next breath, I am going to put a declaration in your mouth, a new agreement for your season, so you stop calling yourself left behind and you start speaking what is true. You are set apart, you are protected, you are prepared, and you are being led into love that will not cost you your peace. Now, my child, open your mouth with me, because agreement is not a small thing in the spirit. What you keep calling yourself becomes the atmosphere you live under. And for too long, you have been speaking over your season with the vocabulary of disappointment. You have said, I'm behind. You have said, I missed it. You have said, maybe I'm not chosen. And I am correcting that language today, not to shame you, but to heal you, because you are not behind. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are appointed. You are set apart. And what is set apart is not being punished. It is being preserved. So listen closely and say this with me, not as a wish, but as a declaration. Say, Father, I trust your timing over my feelings. Say, I will not measure my worth by someone else's timeline. Say, I refuse to call delay denial. Say, I am not forgotten in the waiting. Say, you are ordering my steps and you are guarding my heart, because I am not a careless God. I do not place a desire in you and then mock you for having it. Marriage was my idea, covenant was my design, and I care about the holy longing I placed inside you myself. Now say it again, with strength in your spirit. I am not left behind. I am set apart. You are not the one that love skipped. You are the one I protected. You are the one I kept from what would have cost you peace. You are the one I kept from the kind of connection that would have required you to shrink. You are the one I kept from the kind of affection that would have become a cage. You are the one I kept from the cycle you begged me to break. And if it hurt when doors closed, it is because you did not yet see that mercy can feel like loss at first. But I am telling you the truth. I close doors to keep your future clean. And now, my child, I want you to declare your standards without apology. Say, I will not settle for confusion. Say, I will not trade my peace for attention. Say, I will not return to what I had to heal from. Say, I will not entertain half-love and call it patience. Say, I will not accept crumbs when I am called to covenant. Because the enemy has tried to convince you that you have to take whatever comes quickly, whatever comes loudly, whatever comes urgently. But I am teaching you that what is from me does not need panic to sustain it. What is from me can stand in the light. What is from me can be tested and still remain. And I am also healing your expectation, because some of you do not only fear being alone, you fear being disappointed again. You fear hoping and then losing. You fear getting excited and then feeling foolish. But I am not asking you to hope like a child touching a hot stove again. I am teaching you to hope with wisdom. So declare this with me, my heart is healing. Say, I release the disappointment of the almost. Say, I forgive what I tolerated when I did not know my worth. Say, I forgive myself for confusing intensity with intimacy. Say, I forgive myself for staying too long. Say, I am learning peace. Say, I am ready for love that is steady, clear, and kind. Because I am not only sending you love, I am making you able to receive it without flinching, without testing it with suspicion, without sabotaging it because calm feels unfamiliar. Now hear me, chosen one. You are protected. You are prepared. You are being matured, not delayed. You are being strengthened, not skipped. Your singleness has not been a sentence. It has been a covering. It has been a training ground. It has been a sacred interruption that kept you from building a life with someone who could not steward you. And I need you to stop wearing shame like it belongs to you. Shame is not your garment. Fear is not your future. Desperation is not your portion. Peace is. Clarity is. Honor is. And the love I have for you is not fragile, it is precise. So, I want you to do something with me right now, because your obedience is a weapon and your agreement is a gate. Type this where you are, and let it be your public stand against every counterfeit that has tried to pull you back. Type, I will not settle. God is preparing real love for me. Do not type it like a comment. Type it like a covenant with me. Type it like a line in the sand. Type it like you are closing every back door your flesh keeps trying to reopen. I will not settle. God is preparing real love for me. And if you know someone, one friend, one sister, one brother who is tempted to go back, tempted to text what I freed them from, tempted to call the counterfeit because they feel lonely, send this message to them. Do not assume they are strong today. Do not assume they will remember what I told them in the light when the night gets heavy. Share it, because sometimes the rescue is as simple as a timely reminder. Do not trade your future for a moment of relief. I have used you before to pull someone back from the edge, and I will use you again. Love them enough to warn them. Love them enough to remind them that peace is the proof. Now, my child, take a breath, because we are about to seal this. Declarations open your mouth, but prayer opens your spirit. And I am going to meet you in the next moment with healing for the wound of waiting and strength for your boundaries. So you do not just say you will not settle, you actually become anchored in peace. Stay with me. Do not drift. Do not let the enemy steal this tenderness with a sudden thought of who hurt you. Bring your heart closer, because we are going to pray, and I am going to put rest on you, clarity in you, and a holy steadiness over your season, until what is real arrives in my appointed time. Now, my child, close your eyes if you can, and if you cannot, then close the door of your mind to every other voice. Breathe with me. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let the part of you that has been bracing for disappointment finally exhale, because you are not praying into a ceiling, you are praying into my hands. I am here. I have been here, and I am going to touch what you have been carrying silently. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bring my child to you, the one who has tried to be strong, the one who has smiled in public and cried in private, the one who has watched others be chosen while they wondered what was wrong with them. And I say, let healing come to the wound of waiting. Heal the places where rejection tried to write a story on their identity. Heal the places where abandonment made them feel replaceable. Heal the places where being overlooked made them feel invisible. I uproot comparison right now, the habit of measuring their life by someone else's highlight, the habit of counting years like a punishment, the habit of assuming delay means defect. My child is not defective. My child is not disqualified. My child is not forgotten. So I silence every lie that says, you are too late, and I break the agreement with shame that says, you are hard to love. That is not my voice. That is not my heart. And Father, touch the bitterness that tried to grow in the soil of disappointment. Touch the cynicism that calls itself wisdom, but is really a bruise. Touch the guardedness that formed when they kept hoping and kept getting hurt. My child, you do not have to become cold to be safe. You do not have to become suspicious to be discerning. I can heal you without making you naive. So I lift the heaviness of despair the nights where they thought, it will never happen for me. I lift the fear of being alone forever. I lift the panic that rises when silence stretches. I lift the impatience that whispers, just take something, anything. No, my child. You are not going to trade your future for temporary relief. You are not going to agree with hunger more than you agree with me. Let my peace settle in their chest right now like oil. Let my love steady their heartbeat. Let hope return, not frantic, not desperate, but clean, quiet, and strong. Now, Father, I pray for discernment. Sharpen their inner hearing. Make your guidance unmistakable. As your word says, this is the way. Walk in it. Let that voice become clearer than attraction, clearer than loneliness, clearer than the pressure of time. Train them to recognize peace as proof. When something is from you, let their spirit be steady. When something is not from you, let holy unrest rise before attachment forms. I am asking you to make them sober in love, not cynical sober, not closed wise. Let them see patterns, not just potential. Let them read fruit, not just flattering words. Let them be able to say no without guilt and yes without fear. And when a counterfeit approaches, when a familiar chaos tries to dress itself up as chemistry, let discernment expose it quickly. Let them lose their appetite for confusion. Let them feel bored by manipulation. Let them feel repelled by inconsistency. Let their standards become natural, not forced, because their healing has made them honest. Father, I pray for protection over their heart and their body. Put a hedge around them. Guard them from soul ties that keep pulling them backward. Sever every unhealthy attachment that still tugs at their emotions, every lingering bond to someone who benefited from their softness but would not carry responsibility. Cleanse their memory, cleanse their imagination, cleanse the places where they replay conversations, reopen doors in their mind, and romanticize what you rescued them from. I call them free, free from late-night weakness, free from settling touches that cost them peace, free from attention that feels like love but leaves them emptier. Strengthen their boundaries until their no is not trembling. Strengthen their purity of intention so they do not date to prove something, do not date to numb something, do not date to compete, do not date to be chosen by anyone, but only to walk in wisdom with you. Give them wisdom with decisions, who to answer, who to ignore, what pace to keep, what questions to ask, what to bring into the light. And Father, surround them with protection through community voices that love them enough to be honest, people who will not let them shrink their standards to keep company. Now, Father, prepare them for covenant. Prepare their character, mature their emotions, heal their triggers. Teach them how to communicate without fear, how to listen without defensiveness, how to repair without pride, how to love without losing themselves. Give them patience that is not passive, and confidence that is not loud, and discernment that is not anxious. Teach them to receive healthy love without trying to test it, without trying to run from it, without trying to sabotage it because calm feels unfamiliar. Teach them to be consistent, not just intense. Teach them to be present, not just passionate. Teach them to be honest, not just impressive. Because I am not sending them a relationship that will entertain them. I am aligning them for a covenant that will build them, and I refuse to let the weight of real love crush what has not been strengthened. So strengthen them, expand their capacity, heal their attachment, stabilize their heart, make them ready to recognize what is ready. And now, my child, receive this. I am not offended by your tears. I am not intimidated by your longing. I am not annoyed by your questions. Bring it to me. Bring the ache. Bring the timeline. Bring the fear that rises when another engagement photo appears. Bring the grief of the almost. Bring the anger you tried to bury because you thought it was unspiritual. I can handle you. I can hold you, and I will not waste you. I will not let the waiting turn you into someone you do not recognize. The waiting is not here to break you. It is here to bless you, to steady you, to filter you, to protect you, and to position you for what will not bring regret. So I seal this prayer with peace. I seal it with clarity. I seal it with holy restraint. And I speak rest over your nervous system right now. Rest from checking, rest from striving, rest from rehearsing, rest from chasing. You will not have to chase what I have appointed. You will not have to beg what I have ordained. You will not have to manipulate what I am sending in truth. And when the right love comes near, it will not compete with my presence. It will confirm it. It will not steal your peace. It will honor it. It will not require you to betray yourself. It will meet you as you are, healed and whole and steady. Now lift your head, my child. Wipe your face if you need to. Do not rush back into noise. Sit in this stillness for a moment, because this is what safety feels like. This is what it feels like to be held and not questioned, to be known and not used. And I am charging you as you rise from this prayer. Wait in peace, not in punishment. Peace. Do not go backward to soothe the moment. Do not answer from loneliness. Do not reopen what I closed. Walk forward with your standards intact and your heart guarded and your hope clean. I am guiding you. I am keeping you. And what I have for you is real love, covenant love, peaceful love, arriving in my appointed time, and you will be ready when it does. And now hear me clearly, my child, because I do not want you to leave this moment carrying the old accusation that says, God kept me single because something is wrong with me. That is not my voice. That is not my heart. I did not keep you single to punish you. I did not keep you single to embarrass you. I did not keep you single to watch you ache. I kept you single to bless you. I kept you single because I love you with a love that is not careless, and I refuse to hand you over to a connection that would have cost you your calling, your peace, your identity, and your future. Look back with me for a moment, not with grief, but with revelation. The counterfeit that almost convinced you it was real, I blocked it. The charm that felt like destiny but carried disorder, I exposed it. The almost that broke your heart but would have broken your spirit later, I did not let it become yours. The door that shut when you were ready to force it open, that was mercy. You thought you were losing love, but you were being spared damage. You thought you were being delayed, but you were being defended. There were things you could not see, intentions hidden behind words, immaturity dressed as confidence, inconsistency disguised as complexity. And because you asked me for a love that would not destroy you, I answered you by withholding what would have slowly dismantled you. And while you were waiting, I was healing the place in you that would have settled. Yes, I know what you were tempted to accept just to feel chosen. I know what you almost called enough because you were tired of being alone. But I was restoring your love filter. I was cleaning your vision. I was teaching you that attention is not affection, that chemistry is not character, that a good morning text is not covenant, that tears are not repentance, that familiarity is not safety. I was healing the part of you that confused anxiety with excitement. I was healing the part of you that equated pursuit with pressure and intensity with intimacy. I was teaching you how to be loved without being managed, how to be seen without being used, how to be pursued without being rushed. I was also training your discernment, my child, until peace became the proof, because you have lived through enough confusion to know what it does to your mind, your sleep, your appetite, your prayer life. You have felt the knot in your stomach when something was not clean, even if you could not explain it. And now I am making you wise, not hard wise, not cold clear. You are learning to ask, does this bring me closer to God or does it make me forget Him? You are learning to watch fruit, not fantasies. You are learning that what is from me can be questioned and still remain. What is from me does not need you to abandon your standards to keep it. What is from me will not punish you for asking for clarity. What is from me will not recruit your insecurity to hold you hostage. Peace will not be the reward at the end of constant turmoil. Peace will be the atmosphere from the beginning. And I anchored you in my order, because my ways do not change. In Genesis, I formed before I presented. I prepared before I paired. I established identity and assignment before I introduced covenant. I did not bring Eve to Adam, while Adam was still confused about who he was and what he was called to carry, and I have not forgotten my own pattern with you. The waiting was not wasted, it was weight. It was the weight room, it was capacity, it was stability, it was emotional maturity. It was character that can hold blessing without leaking it through fear. Some of you asked me for marriage, but you were not yet ready for the kind of love you prayed for, because real covenant is not a highlight, it is stewardship. And I love you too much to answer your prayer in a way that would crush you. And yes, there were days it felt like warfare, because the enemy attacks what has destiny. He does not waste darts on what will not matter. He comes for your hope, he comes for your standards. He comes for your identity. He whispers scarcity so you will grab what is near, instead of waiting for what is right. He whispers panic, so you will answer texts you should ignore. He whispers, this is your last chance, so you will call compromise wisdom. But you are not living under scarcity. You are living under my care. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not running out. I am not a God who runs out. I am a God who aligns. I am a God who prepares. I am a God who keeps promises. And while you could not see it, I was also working on what you could not reach. I was preparing the one meant to love you well, or I was redirecting you away from what you thought was for you, so you would not build a life around a lesson. I was protecting both sides. I was timing both stories. I was arranging details you would never be able to coordinate. Do you hear me? You are not waiting alone. Heaven has been moving in the unseen. I have been teaching you, and I have been shaping them. And I have been guarding the meeting until it can be handled with honor. Not with desperation, not with lust dressed as love, not with trauma bonding, with peace, with clarity, with right order. So this is your commission as you rise from this moment. Walk in peace, not panic. Choose standards, not scarcity. Keep your heart soft and your boundaries strong. Soft enough to receive what is good, strong enough to refuse what is familiar but harmful. Do not let loneliness make decisions for you. Do not let comparison write your timeline. Do not let boredom open doors I closed. And do not let fear make you suspicious of every good thing. You will not have to chase what I have appointed. You will not have to beg what I have ordained. You will not have to perform to be kept by the one I send. Real love will not demand that you shrink. Real love will not compete with my presence. Real love will come with the quiet confidence of consistency, the safety of honor, the steadiness of truth. And I want you to seal this in your own words right now, because agreement matters. In the comments, leave your declaration. I will wait in peace. I will not settle. God's delay is not denial. And if you want to, leave a brief prayer request, just a sentence about what you're believing for in this season, so my people can cover you, so you can stop feeling like you're fighting alone, so you can receive strength from community while you wait for covenant. And my child, if this message met you right where you are, do not treat it like content. Treat it like confirmation. Like the video as an act of agreement, let it be your yes to my process and your no to every counterfeit. Subscribe, so you stay under these reminders when the night gets heavy and the old temptation tries to resurrect what I delivered you from. And share this with someone who is questioning my timing, someone who is about to text the wrong person, someone who is tired of waiting and thinks compromise will soothe them. Send it as rescue, send it as love, send it as a boundary in motion. Now receive this final reassurance as I send you. I did not keep you single to hurt you. I kept you single to bless you. I kept you because you are precious to me. I kept you because your future matters to me. I kept you because I am not giving you a relationship that costs you your peace. And as you wait, you will not wait in punishment, you will wait in peace. You will not wait in shame, you will wait in hope. You will not wait in fear, you will wait in faith. And when it arrives, it will be clean, it will be clear, it will be steady, it will be safe, it will be covenant. And you will look back and finally understand. Every delay was love, every closed door was mercy, every lonely night was strengthening, and every protected season was preparation for what is real.